Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about cultivating a success mindset. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was having computer difficulties. It looks like it's still acting up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, there we are. I hope everyone can hear me. If you all could type in the comments if you can hear me, that would be awesome. And if you haven't downloaded your toolkit yet, you can do so at dailyaffirmations.createyourlife.coach. So you can get your affirmation toolkit, and that's what I'll be going over today. And I do have that link in the comments. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. So today I want to talk about cultivating a success mindset using a morning routine. You know, mindset is so important for all of us, particularly entrepreneurs. You know, I would say about 85% of being a successful entrepreneur has to do with creating and maintaining a positive mindset. So it can be really tricky, especially when you're new in business, to allow yourself to fall into doubt or negativity or sabotage. So that's why, you know, creating a morning routine is so important. And the reason that I do this mindset routine in the morning is because it really helps you start your day off in a powerful way. You know, when you start your day off in a positive way and you put yourself in a positive mindset, then it changes your vibration throughout the day. You show up in a different way. So, you know, when you start working, you show up to where you're attracting more things to yourself because you do feel more upbeat. You feel like you're in that place of potential and possibility instead of starting out feeling like, oh, you know, not knowing what to do or things like that. So I usually spend like 30 minutes each morning, 20 to 30 minutes. And I just, you know, you may have to get creative about when you do this, you know, especially if you have kids. You know, I used to try to get up before my daughter and, you know, do my routine before she would get up, but it would never fail. She would wake up and be like, oh, mommy's awake, you know. So what I do now is I schedule my clients, you know, 30 minutes after I get back from dropping her off, just to give myself that time to get in a positive state of mind before I start my workday. And you'll also see that, you know, it gives you time to download ideas and to get inspiration before you start your day. So my mindset practice consists of 3 things. Okay, number 1, reciting your affirmations and beliefs, and that takes about 10 minutes. And then I spend about 10 minutes in meditation, and then about 5 minutes in receiving mode. So I'm going to go through each one of those and just kind of break it down a little bit as far as what that looks like. So that's why this is really handy if you have the affirmation toolkit. And again, you can download it after this if you'd like. Because what I've given you here is a list of affirmations that I really like. Let me click back over here. You know, it's just a list of affirmations I really like. I'm constantly upgrading and changing my affirmations, and I recommend that you do the same thing. But sometimes it's helpful to have a list of affirmations to kind of get yourself started. So, but I highly recommend that you create your own affirmations, okay? Because you really, if you're going to spend time, you know, repeating these affirmations on a daily basis, you know, what you're really doing is to start reprogramming your thinking and your beliefs, okay? So if you're going to spend time doing that each day, it's really important to find those affirmations that work for you, that are specific to you. So that's what the rest of the, you know, the other 2 pages are about in the toolkit, is basically how to write your own affirmations. Okay, so let's just take a look. I have a few different questions to kind of help you get started in writing your own affirmations. So first, starting out, you know, look at what am I struggling with the most? So say in this example, you're struggling with getting clients and staying focused. Okay, so what you want to do is reframe that thought or that feeling. Okay, so you may change it around to say, there are tons of clients who want to work with me and pay me what I want to get paid. I am focused and clear. See how we're just kind of like flipping that around into a positive instead of, worry. And then that's the next question. What are you worried about? Say you're worried about money or you're worried about your health. You can create an affirmation that says, I have plenty of money to support everything that I want and need. I'm very healthy. Things like that. What do I fear deep down is true about me or my life? This is kind of like getting down into the deeper beliefs. And I have like a whole program where I help people uncover their belief system and then start reprogramming that. Okay, so this is kind of going under the surface a little bit. When you're looking at your fears, oftentimes the fears are under the surface. They're in the subconscious, but they're also driving the train. So I would look at our belief systems as being like the operating system of a computer. It's running behind the scenes and it's making lots of decisions. And oftentimes we're not even stopping to question those because the program was written usually before the age of 7. So if we're not stopping and taking a look at what's under the surface and what's really driving our train, then, you continue to repeat the same patterns over and over again. So that's why, again, creating your own affirmations is important because it really is specific to you. And with using this morning routine, this mindset routine, it's really going to help start shifting these things for you. Okay? So the main thing when you're writing your own affirmations is to always affirm in the positive. So I had one lady in a workshop that she says she always had bad luck. So, when we were working with that, at first she wrote down, I no longer have bad luck. You don't want to write it like that. You always want to state it in the positive, like I'm really lucky. See the difference? And you can feel the difference in those two statements. So, and that's something that you can look for when you write your affirmations. Does it feel really good or does it still feel kind of heavy? Okay, so you always want to state things in the positive. And then you also want to state it in the present tense. It's something that's happening now. It's not in the future. If your affirmations are in the future, then they're always going to be in the future, right? So you want to state it as I am secure, I am wealthy, I am healthy, whatever it is that you're wanting to cultivate, okay? And then the second part talks about creating a morning routine, which is what we're talking about here. And then something that I think is fun is attaching affirmations to activities, okay? Because, again, this is kind of where you can get in and start the reprogram process. So if you slow things down, you can start seeing, like, what your thoughts are around certain behaviors. So here's a few examples on the worksheet. On your way into work each morning, you can affirm, I feel great. I attract new clients with ease. Clients are lining up to work with me. They're telling all their friends. That's one of the funnest affirmations that I have or beliefs that I instill is that clients find me. Like, people are drawn to me and my message. And the more that I put my message out there, the more people find me and connect with me. And a lot of times that's how it happens, because I believe it to be true. So your beliefs are so very powerful. When you're having lunch, you can affirm, I enjoy eating healthy food. If you feel, if you have social anxiety or something like that, going into a meeting, you could affirm, I'm confident. I feel secure. People like me. Spending money, when you're out spending money, that's really the best time to install your money beliefs is when you're actually in the act of doing things, okay? So, the more money I spend, the more money I make, or whatever it is for you. And that's why it's so important. I have this list that you can choose from some of the affirmations, and then, hopefully you'll make your own because that's where it really gets powerful. Then something that I like to do to take this deeper is to spend time visualizing. So it's one thing to say these affirmations out loud and to start using them in certain situations, but it takes it to a whole nother level when you start visualizing. So when you start visualizing yourself showing up in these ways, it's really powerful because it changes your vibration. You start showing up in a more positive, stronger way because your mind doesn't really know if it's really happening or not. As long as you're seeing whatever it is in the screen of your mind, then your body starts generating that feeling. So, and that's part of, something that I do in the second piece, which is what I'll talk about in a minute with visualizing. Okay, visualizing is so important. But first, I want to just talk about how reading your affirmations and your beliefs looks, okay? Because you don't just read it out loud. It's not, I have a very successful coaching business. I have clients lining up to work with me. You really want to get excited. You want to have enthusiasm in what you're talking about. So, I have a very successful coaching business. I have clients lining up to work with me. I'm so awesome at what I do. My clients are getting great results and they're telling all their friends. I'm showing up 100% of my business. My schedule is completely full and I have a waiting list. Say it like you're really excited, like you're telling your friend. And sometimes, like I do, I'll say it out loud, just like I'm telling someone. Like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Let me tell you these things. So, and you can feel the vibration changing just as I'm reading that. It's just like, yes, yes, yes. And it feels a lot different than just reading it. So it's really important to just be enthusiastic when you're going through and reading your goals. So the second part is meditating. So once I read through and get myself psyched up about my goals and get myself in sync, then I spend about 10 minutes, and I usually set a timer. And the meditation piece can look a little different, and it looks a little different each day, actually, because it's kind of however I'm feeling after I do that. I either will spend time visualizing, my beliefs. If I'm really feeling it and I can really feel tuned in, then I'll take it to the next level and spend time visualizing and really creating and feeling that in my mind and just really vibrating with those things. If I feel just sometimes, when you're reading these things, it just feels out of reach. It doesn't feel very doable to you, and that's totally fine. So on those days, maybe just spend the time meditating, just really sitting and being with yourself and just focus on your breath. The third thing that I'll sometimes do is ask for information. So before I'll start meditating, I'll get myself pumped up with reading my beliefs and then start going through and just ask a question like, what can I do today to bring myself closer to my dreams? Is there something that I can do? And then I'll just spend a few minutes listening. And oftentimes I get my best ideas in this 10-minute window. And, sometimes things don't come until later. Sometimes they don't come that day. But the more you tune in, the more you build this connection, the more information you will download. The more you will be living with intention and living on purpose and really tuning in to that part of you, to your higher self, to your heart center, whoever you believe that is. But you'll start to feel more guided. And then the third part, which is so very important, which I feel like we're missing in our lives, is, spend 5 minutes in receiving mode, just being receptive. So, and what that looks like, I feel like we're constantly in this masculine energy of go, go, do, even when we're stating our affirmations and we're putting it out, we're putting what we want out into the world and we're going after it and we're do, it's always this outward motion, okay? And oftentimes what we want is right there waiting for us to let it in, and we're not taking the time to really receive and to let in what it is that we're trying to cultivate. Okay, so for 5 minutes, I usually just spend time, and oftentimes I'll open my palms. I like to lay down when I do mine. I always set a timer again just to make sure that, I have things to do. But it really, if you set a timer, it helps you really just let go and to get into the space and know that you're not going to go too far and, use up too much time or fall asleep. I like to just lay there with my palms open and just imagine me receiving, just really drinking in everything that I've putting out and just really seeing it coming into my life and drinking it in. I feel like receiving a lot of times too is about just really nurturing, just really being in that space of the mother and just allowing that embrace, that nurturance, that feel good. You know, it's there's no action. There's nothing you had to really do to be loved and supported in your life. So then I usually spend about 5 minutes, just like I said, just opening my palms, just being open to receiving. And then, so my energy then is not pushing out. It's not seeking anything. It's more internal. It's like coming back into me. It's like going back to the center and just allowing what I'm putting out into the world to come back in and to penetrate my life. So that's the morning routine. It's so powerful, especially if you get consistent. You will start seeing changes in shorter. So what I usually suggest to my clients is committing to a 30-day process with this. I hope you'll keep going with it for longer than that. But if you can really commit to doing a morning practice for 30 days in a row and spend some time getting your affirmations the way that you want them before you get started, okay? Because again, that's so powerful. It's really important to start installing things that really matter to you and that really make sense to you and that are helping reprogram your belief system, okay? So spend some time doing that and get consistent with your morning routine and you'll really see big changes. So that's all I had to share with you all today. I hope you find this helpful. And feel free to send me a message and let me know how your morning routine is going and what kind of things you've created through doing that. So I hope y'all have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you next week.